Okay, you can see better on this camera screen than I can. So, there's the date. This is the result. What you're looking at are those on that side there. The very bottom. Okay, these are thumbs down, people. Right here. This is Fraser Health, Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, Fraser Health Authority, I'm sorry, CIBC Bank, which is Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce, and the BC Liberal Government, which is the provincial government of Canada. This is the result of their actions. Okay. Do you see this, people? What are they trying to hide, people? What are they trying to hide? What's so important about Uncle John that they're trying to hide? What are they trying to hide, people? Because they're trying to hide something. Just like they hid Uncle John, they're trying to hide something here, people. What are they trying to hide? Okay, people, this is June 6, 2017. Here's the facts. The facts are Uncle John lived in this house as a contributing member to a family, as a family member, for 23 years. He was a housemate, people. When someone lives in your house for that length of time, or even a shorter length of time, as a family member, as a roommate, as a housemate, and disappear, under normal circumstances, the police would investigate that disappearance. And they would follow up with the family in crises, with the household in crises. Nobody's done anything like that for Uncle John. When Uncle John disappeared in February of 2015, within a day or two or three, my son, my youngest son, went back to the facility from where he disappeared from, and the police were called on him because they didn't want to give him any information in terms of the staff, and they had to call the code white, right? So they called the police on my son, and my son sat down and had a conversation with the police, and the only thing that the police said was, get a lawyer, knowing that there is no access to lawyers, to avoid taking responsibility for what happened to Uncle John. Basically, they shifted the responsibility onto a phantom lawyer that they knew wasn't accessible. Okay? Well, the health authority, Fraser Health in this particular instance, protected that process so that Uncle John could be removed and not held accountable as to how he was removed, where he was removed to, and what happened to him in that process. Which at the end of the day, 30 years plus of memories were removed from his mind, just so that they could continue on with whatever it is that they're doing with Uncle John without any interceptions. Because they know that they've got the justice system in their back pocket in terms of good luck getting it to court without a lawyer. That's a fact, people. Because 2 years and a bit later, I'm still talking about it. And Uncle John is still missing in action. Nobody really knows how he's doing or what's really happened to him outside of the people that took him and were not held accountable in the manner that they took him. So, being that you have a health authority involved, you have the banking system involved, because without the bank participating and locking me out of a legal contract that was valid for 25 years, and through the facilitation of Fraser Health doing everything behind closed doors, right, with secret files, secret budget, right, because he was targeted for his money, people, and he may have been targeted because he was getting older, you know, and I'm going to keep these videos short, do a little series on this stuff, right? Not sure how I'm going to do it yet, but, you know, maybe when he was working in the Parliament buildings as a janitor, right, working in the Lieutenant Governor's house for years as a janitor, cleaning the Premier's desk with a cigarette hanging over his mouth, moving papers around. Maybe he's seen something under a black budget that, you know, kind of like is an extension to Roswell, right? From, you know, with technologies that are being deployed upon the population, right? Without them being aware. And this was back in the 1970s, 80s, right? You know, or who knows? Who knows? Who knows what he came across on those desks, people? Maybe he knows something that they don't want him to know. And now that he's getting older, or was getting older, right? Maybe they were afraid he was going to slip up and they couldn't keep him under mind control. Right? Maybe he was going to spill some beans, you know? Maybe they were afraid of being exposed, and that was another reason why he was targeted. Not only for his money, but maybe for what he knew, right? Because he worked in the proximity of people that get elected on the premise of working for the public, when in fact, oftentimes they're not, which Uncle John would have told you that for sure, right? In terms of the way they behave in Parliament, you know, as an example, to keep it short, they go into the debates and they fight. They put on the show like actresses and actors, you know, debating the budget, debating the policies that they're bringing in through Parliament, making it look like they're at arm's length to each other. But as soon as the debate is over and everybody spills out into the halls and the party, the after-hour party in the building, in the Parliament buildings, that goes on behind closed doors that nobody sees except the janitor, because the janitor has to go in there and clean up after them after the fact. Maybe he heard something in the bathroom when they were a little tipsy and in the washroom, you know, doing whatever they were doing as they were partying in the committee A room after the debate. Because that's what they did, people. That's what they did. And then Uncle John would have to go up there and clean up after him. And it didn't matter who the ruling party was. They were all partying. All the MLAs were partying together. Just like when they banking those pension plans and building up their portfolios, they come in with 2 or 3 retirement packages or pension plans from their previous employment. As soon as they become a politician, they're not interested in the public domain. They're interested in their private portfolios and how many more pension plans and life insurance policies that they can put in there, so that when they retire as a politician, they walk away with 8 of them in their portfolio versus only having 2 or 3 when they first came in. That Uncle John would tell you for sure, because that's what he used to tell me all the time. So somewhere in those 8 portfolios, I'm sure there's black budgets, right? And What else? Well, we know about the after debate parties, right? Mill Lab, military kidnappings. Maybe Uncle John was listed under a military kidnapping for information that he knew what was going on back in the day, right? And through this mind control that they've been putting on the public for a long time, maybe it doesn't have its hold on old people when old people start to, unravel at the seams. And they didn't want to get caught with something. Because if you notice, it's the hospitals that facilitate this stuff in terms of people simply disappearing with the assistance of the banking institution, so that the people that love them can't go and find them because the household gets bankrupt as they're smearing the family's name in a public domain. So in other words, anytime I go back to the bank, they bring up my file and there's a big red flag on it. Right away, people. Right away. Just like if I was to go to the hospital, there's going to be a big red file on it. Well, they had a big red file on Uncle John